The book of Psalms has always held a special place in Christian worship, offering songs and prayers that speak to the human condition: joy, sorrow, hope, and faith. In one small country church nestled between rolling hills, the Psalms were more than just words on a page. They were a living, breathing part of the congregation's spiritual experience. This church, St. James Chapel, had a tradition that stretched back for generations. Every Sunday, the service would begin with a reading from the Psalms, but it wasn't simply read aloud. It was sung in a tradition that dated back to when the church was first founded in the early 1800s. The congregation believed that music gave their prayers wings, lifting them up to God in a way that spoken words alone could not. There was one particular Sunday during the time of Lent when this tradition came alive in a profound way. The week had been tough for the community. A powerful storm had rolled through, damaging homes and leaving many without power. As people gathered in the dimly lit church, some still without electricity in their homes, there was a palpable heaviness in the air. The pastor, an elderly man who served the church for over 40 years, stood at the pulpit. His hands, weathered by years of work and service, gripped the old Bible as he turned to the book of Psalms. Today, he said softly, we read from Psalm 46. He began to sing, his voice carrying the first lines. God is our refuge and strength, an ever-present help in trouble. Therefore we will not fear, though the earth give way and the mountains fall into the heart of the sea. The congregation, as was their custom, joined in the singing. Their voices, some cracked and weary, others young and strong, filled the small chapel. The harmony of voices blended together, creating a sacred sound that seemed to rise with the candle's smoke. As they sang, the words of the psalm took on new meaning. For a moment, the damage from the storm didn't matter. The anxieties of rebuilding, the frustrations of power outages, and the uncertainty of what was to come were all swept away by the power of the ancient words. They weren't just singing a psalm, they were living it. God was their refuge, their strength, even in the face of adversity. The pastor closed the Bible gently and looked at his congregation. In the midst of the storm, he said, "We sing because we know that God is with us." The Psalms remind us that even when life is hard, even when the world seems to be falling apart, we have a God who hears our prayers, who holds us in his hands. That day, the people of St. James Chapel left with a sense of peace they hadn't felt in days. The power of the Psalms, spoken and sung in that small church, had strengthened their hearts. From that moment on, whenever life brought storms, both literal and figurative, they returned to the Psalms, singing them with the same faith that had carried their ancestors through generations. For them, the Psalms were not just ancient poetry, but a living song of praise that connected them to each other and to God. Please like and subscribe to help us grow our spiritual channel. Thanks.